Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today we're going to make this cute little Pokeball Pokemon keychain. Now, this one is a little 3D one, and what we do to make it is make this little one here, which is flat. We make two of them, we put them together, and we make it. Now, you don't have to make it 3D. If you prefer to just have it flat like this, that's absolutely fine. You just need to make one. But I think this looks nice on both sides, whereas this one, it looks a bit odd on the other side. That's the side that usually you would face down, and if you were using it as a keychain, it might look a bit odd. Three colours that we're going to use: red, black and white. You're going to need your hook. I prefer a 2.75, but whatever hook you have. You're going to need a couple of stitch markers. You can use these particular ones which lock, which I love, or you can use an S clip, a C clip, a paper clip, a safety pin, bobby pin, whatever you happen to have. And I found a packet of these keychain rings at my local craft shop, so you can use one of those, or you can put it on an existing keychain that you might happen to have around. So let's get started. As I said, we're going to make two of these and put them together. We will start by doing a magic ring. Now, I like to do my magic ring using my little stitch marker to help me. You can use your loom. There's a variety of different ways to make a magic ring, and I have tutorials on all of them. You will find a link up here. There's a little eye, and you'll find a link to Beginner's Guide to Loomigurumi, and in that playlist, in the playlist of my tips and tricks for Loomigurumi, which I will also put up here, you will see the different ways you can make a magic ring with your hook only, with your hook and a stitch marker to help you, with your loom peg, variety of ways. So we're going to do it with a stitch marker to help us. We're going to have 6 little white bands in our magic ring, and we start with the 7th white band as our little end cap. So we're going to wrap it around once and twice, and that's what we put our little stitch marker on, so that we can know exactly where we've got to go through. So one by one, we're going to pull these little white bands through and make our magic ring. 1, back through that end cap, and join them together. 2, 3. I take this off now. You can normally get a good grip. 4, 5, and our last white stitch is 6, like that. Okay, spread it around. There's our little magic ring. This here is our first stitch, and we're going to go through that. Now our next round is 12 black bands. We're going to do an increase in every single white stitch that we have to increase our 6 stitches to 12. But because we're doing a colour change, this first one has to be a slip stitch. So pull it through your first stitch and add that little white loop that's on your hook to it. And do your slip stitch and add your stitch marker to that. That is our first stitch. I like to put my stitch marker on the first stitch rather than the last stitch, but it is personal preference. It doesn't matter, whatever you're used to. Go through the first stitch again. We're doing another single crochet in that, so that it's an increase, and we have 2 stitches in that one stitch. Into our second stitch, and you're doing 2 stitches. Third stitch. And do your 2 single crochets in black until we get back to our stitch marker. Here's our last stitch. Like so. Okay, there's our first stitch, here's our last stitch. Now our next round we're going to be swapping colours. We're going to start by doing a black single crochet, followed by an increase in red, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, and note we have a color change here. Then we're going to do single crochet, increase, we're changing to white there, single crochet, increase, single crochet and increase, and we change back to black. So this is how we're going to do. Alright, push your hook through your first stitch, and your first stitch is going to be black. So do a single crochet and move your stitch marker to that. Our next stitch is an increase, so go into your second stitch, but because we're color changing, our first single crochet is actually a slip stitch. So pull it through and then add this loop to it, reclaim one over the other, back through that second stitch, because we're doing an increase. You're going to do your second stitch in there, which is a single crochet, like so, and then we do a single crochet in red. In the next stitch we do our increase, so 1 and 2, single crochet. Now this stitch here is where we color change. We're doing an increase, but our first stitch is going to be red, so single crochet in red, then back through that same stitch and we're doing a slip stitch to change color to black. Okay, the next stitch is black, single crochet. The following stitch is an increase, but again we're changing color, so we have to do a slip stitch with our white and then into that same stitch again to do our second stitch in there, which is a single crochet. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, and this is our last stitch. It's going to be an increase. Your first stitch is going to be in white, the second stitch, which is our final stitch, is going to be in black, so we have to do a slip stitch like so. Okay, now if you just want an incy wincy one, there you go, you've done it, but I think we would like to make it a little bit wider. So our next round is going to be single crochet, increase. Our first stitch is going to be black, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and then we're changing to black, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, and then we're going single crochet, and we finish on an increase. Okay, so this is our little pattern. So our first stitch, which is here, is going to be in black, single crochet, move your stitch marker to it. Our next stitch, miss your slip stitch here, our next stitch is single crochet in red, but because we can't do a single crochet because we're doing a color change, it has to be a slip stitch. Okay, there we go. The next stitch is an increase, so first stitch and then go through that same stitch again to do your second single crochet. There's your increase, single crochet, single crochet, increase, single crochet, single crochet. Now our next stitch, miss your slip stitch, go into your real stitch. We're doing an increase, so there's 2 stitches in this stitch, but our first one is going to be a slip stitch because we're changing colour. and then go back into that stitch for your black single crochet, and then the next stitch, which is black, we're doing a white slip stitch because we're changing colour. Miss your slip stitch here and go into your real stitch, single crochet, increase in this one, so here's our first one, move back into that stitch for your second, single crochet, single crochet, we have to do an increase, one, back in, whoops, come back here, two, single crochet, in this white stitch is a single crochet, miss the slip stitch, go into your real stitch, here it's our last stitch, we're going to change with a slip stitch to black. Now I'm going to go back in and do another single crochet. Now that is complete. Okay, we can take our stitch marker off, that's our last stitch, like so. You're going to pause the video, go back to the beginning and make another one exactly the same as this. Okay, so with my two halves, I'm going to make sure that I have the two good sides placed together. You can tell which is a good side because the bad side sort of has these little V's that you can see, whereas the good side is a little bit neater. You're going to make sure that the two sides match, so white against white, red against red, which is going to mean that you've got one this side and one this side. What we're going to do, ignoring your little stitch markers, we're going to poke our hook through, and I'm going through the slip stitch here and the red stitch on the opposite side, and I'm going to sort of stitch these together, but I'm going to use the same colours that I'm working on. So when I get to black, I'm going to switch to black. When I get to white, I'm going to switch to white. So my last stitch is here. Okay, I'm going through the two red, I'm going to pull through the two loops on that side and the two loops on this side, so I have them joined together with a band, and I'm just going to do a little knot. I'm going to go into the next stitch, one on each side, and I'm basically stitching these together going through two on each, like the loops on each of these, so that they marry up. And I'm doing my little crochet stitches around. Did I go through that stitch? I did go through that stitch. There we go. Now I'm going to go through the two black on either side. Put the red bands away. You don't have to worry about doing a slip stitch because this will be on the inside. Okay, what I am going to go through now is go through one side here, but then I'm going to basically pull my last stitch that I have on one side. I'm going to take my stitch marker off. I'm going to pull, I can see a hair, there we go, cat hair. I'm going to pull that, that's my last stitch for one of the little sides of it. I'm going to pull it through the two on this side and use that as my band for making my stitch. Then I'm going to go into my white stitches. And let's make sure, I want to make sure I'm married up. I think I've gone through one. There we go. That might be better. Around we go. Now I did not stuff mine because I sort of wanted it to be a bit flat so that it could fit in pockets and whatnot and not flap around the ignition of my car. Make sure you go through both sides. All the way around. We're going to complete the white, so go through the last two on this side of the white and here, like that. Now, as you can see, we have this little area here for the black. Okay, what I'm going to do is I want to take the little black stitch I have that's on my end hook, on my stitch marker, and I'm going to pull it through my last white loop that was on my hook. Okay, this gives us a tiny little area that we're going to flip inside out. Okay, I'm going to put my stitch marker back on so I don't lose that one stitch. And this is going to be the messy side that sits against where we have our if you look, it's not as nice, it's more protruding, but that's because we've got our keychain on it, and you don't want just a single band on that, because if that snaps, well, we can kiss it goodbye really. So let's take this and we're going to flip it inside out. You do have to do a bit of stretching, and that's okay, they're rubber bands, they're supposed to stretch. There we go, look at that, he's flipped inside out. Use the end of your hook if you feel that something's not pokey in the right place. There we are. Now there's the end, my little end stitch here. I'm going to pop that on my hook. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through. I want the hole to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go through, okay, and I'm going to add that loop to it. Now I'm going to keep this on my hook, and I'm going to go to the other side and grab the two black on that side, pop the end of my band that I've just used on here and pull it through, okay, like that, because I don't want it to be poking out this way. So there's the two loops I have. I'm now going to go through and find my two bands here and two bands the opposite side. I've got my two here, there's the other two, there we are. I'm going to take two black bands, I'm going to pull through, I'm going to add those little loops to it like so. So this is going to be how I attach. I'm going to go one over the other, and you've got double bands there, okay, like that, and this is what I would attach to my ring here, my key ring. So slide that apart, pop both loops on it, making sure you're not perforating one, I'm about to, and you slide that around, okay. Now if you don't want to do that, you could put it on the end of a pencil, I guess, if you wanted to, and it does run the risk of coming off. Let's see if I can find a pencil to show you. So popping it on the end of a pencil would be putting your end of the pencil through the two loops here and twist until it sits nicely, and there you have it as a pencil topper. Okay, it's up to you what you choose to do. You can have it as a key ring, or let's move that out of the way. You can have it as a little keychain, keyring, whatever you want to call it, or as a little pencil topper. There we go. I hope you like. I think it's really cute. But yeah, if you like it, big thumbs up would be appreciated. Subscribe to my channel. You'll find out when I have new content. Take care, everyone. Bye.